What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Tutorial City. In the first video, I showed you guys how to get all your basic essentials up and running, your water, your sewage, the power, the changes to Cities Skylines 2 from Cities Skylines 1 in regards to those services, the transformation power system, and also getting our residents moved in and how we can set up some of the road systems to be a little bit more effective. In today's video, we're going to be talking about growing our city with more people so we can actually turn a profit. So right now, we are losing $83,000 a month, which, you know, it seems like a lot, but it's actually not so bad right now. It could totally be worse. We have some taxes, we have our service fees, we have service trade, which is the power that we're selling to other cities, and we also have government subsidies, which is really interesting. We also have the ability to take a loan, but everything else is currently locked behind different milestones. So we're going to be just taking a look at the demand right now. We're going to be following the demand chart as much as we possibly can in the early game. So the first thing that we can see is there is massive demand for medium density homes and low density homes. So we're going to expand on what we have already here and try to meet those needs of people that potentially want to move into our town. So we want some medium density houses. So I'm going to build an area which is going to try to fill the need of the medium density people. So again, I don't want to fill up that main 4-lane avenue with lots of road connections. I want to keep that relatively flat, relatively, you know, free flowing. So I will make a road connection maybe right here, right? And then I might even make a little, what is this? We got the, yeah, I got a little pedestrian street. I might even try something like this. This is a new type of road in City Skylines 2, the pedestrian street. So it takes up about the same space as a 2-lane road, but it's only for walking, which is very cool. And this also creates things like traffic lights and stuff and stops, but we don't have access to customize that just yet. But this is going to give our citizens the ability to walk to and from this main road without interruption of cars, which is very cool. So I feel like this is going to be a nice medium density area. So I'm going to put some medium density homes right here, because I think it's going to look kind of cool with it off the main street. Again, it's going to cause a little bit of traffic disturbance, but I think it's going to look kind of cool, kind of neat. So we'll kind of do something along those lines right there. And then from here, we'll build some more low density residential, kind of in like the back area of this. So we're going to have our big townhouses that are following the road, and then our small homes behind. So let's see how that looks. So as you can see, the medium density is completely gone. So we probably didn't need to build that many, but the zoning can remain. If people overbuild, if they buy the land and no one's using it, then you can just bulldoze the building. Now here, I'm going to just make a little cul-de-sac, kind of utilize a bit of this space right now. We can fit a couple more homes down here, so we will add a couple right there. Maybe even use that and as an expander. Maybe do the same thing on the other side. Maybe even use this as like a main kind of shape to our residential area. Kind of bring this out, you know what I mean? Kind of have the meat somewhere. Kind of connects the grid and keeps the shape together. And then I'm going to use our little gridding tool, which I don't use all the time, but I think it's kind of a neat change. We're going to just do this to add a bit of a grid here. The general shape of our town. There we go. Great. Now we have more roads that are back here, which look awesome. I might bulldoze this guy, actually. And I'm going to bring this pedestrian walking street. I'm going to just have it go all the way out here, which I think is kind of cool. Now, we have a potential area for a little cul-de-sac, so I'm going to do that as well. I'm going to just kind of put a little something back there, and yeah, I quite like that. So now I'm going to fill this up with more low density because we have lots of demand for it, which is great. And we're also going to rezone. Oh, yeah, we got a pop musician's mansion. That's kind of cool. I'm also going to rezone a couple of these unused plots and put down some shops, which is kind of neat. So we'll put a couple shops there. We'll put some shops there since there's some commercial demand. Might even just like unzone these and see what kind of stores get built, kind of intermix them with some of the homes. Now, a big change in Cities Skylines 2 is the milestone system. Now, this is something that I didn't talk about in my first video, but the milestone system rewards you with money, development points, and the ability to buy more tiles. As you can see, this is a brand new town, and we can already buy 7 tiles. And the good thing is, you don't have to buy those tiles right next to this town. If I wanted to just say, hey, I like this town as small and dainty as it is, I want to buy another town right here with the 7 tiles that I've already earned and start doing a small little village over here. You can do that right away. A smart thing to do is take a look at the natural resources, but we can't do that quite yet, and build towns that are in tiles that surround unique natural resources. But inside the development tree, we have a couple of perks. We got 3 points. So this is to allow players to pick and choose the buildings they want to go after right away instead of given a preset amount of buildings that you got in the original game. You didn't really have a choice over the progression, and now you do. So, for example, a crematorium, this is really great because graveyards, they take up a lot of space. So getting one of those is kind of nice. Advanced road services. This is really good because it'll allow me to make changes to intersections. Like, for example, if I didn't say I didn't want a set of lights here, I can actually right-click this and I can remove the set of lights, which is really nice. Or if I didn't want people using the crosswalk, you know, it's just that simple. Add, remove, put some stop signs in there, remove some stop signs, no right turn. You get the general idea. So it's a very useful development tool. Now, another thing we're going to be doing is a elementary school. Now, the schools, just like some of the other buildings, have some additional buildings that you can consider whenever you build it. So we're going to put the elementary school here, right next to the medical clinic, and it gives us some options. A playground, which increases the well-being of people within 300 meters, the well-being of students. You can add more student capacity. You can increase health for the students with a children's clinic, and these take up space. So you're going to be able to place this in the backyard for the playground, for example, and the clinic will set this right next to it on the main street. So you got to keep in mind that these buildings are now going to take up a lot of space, but it can really add a lot of character to your town. You're not going to be able to just fit as many schools in the same section as maybe these commercial buildings, right? So it adds it's kind of cool, but it's also very different because you're going to need a lot more space than you did in the previous games. So from here, there's also a happiness chart, so you can see how your citizens are doing. They're happy with their spacious homes, seem to be relatively wealthy. There's an abundance of leisure time and good educational services. So this, in combined with the demands, are going to give you an idea of what you should be focusing in your town from time to time, which is really nice. So as you can see right now, there's literally a demand for everything. So we're just going to meet those demands as best as we possibly can, and the game will essentially take off from here. That is more or less what you really need to work on. Managing demand, managing citizen happiness, while also being mindful of how much money you're spending, because you can run out of money and you can go into the negative. And when that happens, you're going to have to do things like manage taxes, maybe reduce the budget for certain services. It can get a little crazy. Get a little crazy. So I'm going to bring this pedestrian street down over here. I'm going to keep this kind of as a staple part of our town. Might even add another one kind of going crossways here. But I'm going to build more of a commercial sector. So I'm actually going to upgrade this road with the replacement tool, which is different than the upgrade tool. Slightly different. And I'm going to add a 2-lane street back here. There we go. I'm going to add a 2-lane street. And we're going to zone this for commercial. So this is going to be kind of like a shopping area. Little shopping area. And then I'm also going to zone this for medium density housing. So we have EU medium density housing and row housing. So they're just like different aesthetics. So let's put a medium density housing just behind here, right next to our little shopping area. And then for the rest of it, over near this school, we'll put some low density housing. Put more shops over here. In fact, actually, I'll make a little row of shops kind of here, so people have things to buy. And then we also want some more industry. So not a whole lot more we can fit in right there. We can cram it in like a can of sardines. But I think I'm going to create another industry zone over here, because there's another highway, which I just realized exists. So I'm actually going to connect this guy like that. We're going to delete this. We're going to add a little roundabout. And then we're going to put the avenue kind of connects right there for now. There we go. And then over here, I'm going to create a new industry area, which is also kind of connected right near this additional highway, which I think is going to be kind of nice because any sort of imports and exports are going to be really close, so they don't have to go through as many residential areas, at least initially. I'm going to grab a couple of these avenues. I'm just going to space them out a little bit. Kind of bring it up here. There we go. It's all nice and uniform. There we are. And this is, I'm not going to bother connecting these because this is just where random industry is going to go. So I will go over here, and this groundwater is probably going to get screwed, but we'll start making a couple industry plots right here. And since people are going to be traveling to work, we can put some commercial right there. So there we go. We got more industry. We're meeting that demand. People are building some low residential homes. People are really happy because, you know, they got lots of services. They got jobs. The demand is being met. And this is essentially how you continue building your city in Skylines. It's a constant battle between how much money that you're making or losing, your average happiness of your citizens, which buildings you choose to expand on, like building highways, for example, or expanding to an incinerator plant or a recycling center, maybe working on more educational services, more efficient water treatment, better energy. You know, I really like the progression system that's built into the game. I personally think it's really nice. So in the next video, I'm going to be focusing on what you can do to make money in this game, how you can set up your production, how you manage your services, and you can stop bleeding money and you can start making money, which initially you're going to be hitting a lot of milestones because they're pretty easy to reach, and you're going to be getting a lot of money for reaching those milestones. But eventually the milestones are going to be further spread out and it's going to take more time to reach there. So you're not going to be able to just rely on the milestone money to expand your city. And if you overexpand too fast, then you have a likely chance of going bankrupt, and you definitely do not want that. So we're going to spend more time in the next video talking about that. But until next time, thank you for tuning in to Tutorial City, and be sure to check out some of my other videos here on YouTube. I plan on continuing making a couple City Skyline videos for you guys, because I love this game and I just want to share the process and playing it and some of the tips that I've learned over the years of playing City Skylines. Thanks again, guys.